Welcome to my ULDUAR raid guide. My name is Antifragile, and in this video I'll show you Thorim 25-man strategy. Thorim's encounter is divided into two phases, and if you clear the first phase under 3 minutes, the hard mode will initiate, and if your raid takes more than 3 minutes, you'll face the boss in normal mode. The first phase is considered as time attack mode, and since the fight is carried out in two different areas, you need to split the raid groups into two. First area is the arena where you need your defense group to kill mobs that are constantly joining the fight. Second area is the tunnel or gauntlet where your attack group needs to kill the mobs on the way to reach Thorim. You will want to assign melee and hunters in the defense group and casters in the attack group. This is because of deafening thunder that stuns the target and increases the casting speed by 75% to anyone near the target for 8 seconds, which makes casters to struggle to deal any damage to the mobs. If your raid group is encountering this boss in normal mode, you will want to assign one additional healer with 2 or 3 casters in the defense group to hold 3 minutes. If you're doing this encounter in hard mode, you will want to assign more healers and damage dealers in the attack group so that you reach Thorim quickly to start the second phase. Once the group is assigned, you enter the arena while the tank quickly face the behemoth away from the raid and others nuke acolyte and trash mobs. The attack group will position in front of the gate and be sure to click the lever located on the left side to open the gate and head through the tunnel. Let's cover the defense group first. In normal mode, you'll want 2 tanks and 3 healers, all melees and hunters, and 2 or 3 casters in the group. The defense group needs to quickly kill the mobs joining the arena while focusing the DPS on Acolyte and Evoker since they heal, put powerful shield, and use chain lightning. So it is important to interrupt their skills while killing them quickly. Please note that all mobs' abilities can be spell stealed, purged, and interrupted. Next target on the list should be the Warbringer, since this mob uses Aura of Celerity that buffs nearby allies with attack, speed, and casting time to 20%. Champion uses Mortal Strike on the tank and Whirlwind, so the tank needs to tank this mob away from the raid, and healers needs to take extra attention to the tank's health. If you have a warrior in the group, Disarm helps. Finally, the commoner is just a common trash mob, so you can just AoE them down while killing others. Now, Thorim uses an ability called Storm Hammer, which throws the hammer at a random raid member, inflicting heavy damage while stunning for 2 seconds and increasing the casting speed by 75% for 8 seconds to anyone nearby. Furthermore, the boss charges the orb located around the wall, so anyone near the wall will be inflicted with lightning. Now let's look at attack group. Attack group needs to reach Thorim to start phase 2, but as mentioned before, you need to wait 3 minutes if you're going to kill this boss in normal mode. The attack group will face the following mobs. First group is Acolyte and Guard, so kill the Acolyte first and Guard next. Please note that if you decide to kill the mobs all at once, then the Guard's whirling trick can be quite deadly, so depending on your attack group's composition and the difficulty setting for Thorim, I would advise your group to handle them accordingly, either by nuking them down quickly or killing them a group at a time. Furthermore, make sure your group watch out for Runic Colossus smash skill by moving left and right by checking mob's hand. Once you reach the Colossus, the tank will face him away from the raid while others position behind to avoid getting hit by charge. Once killed, the door opens where you face another mob, so quickly DPS them down at a distance due to cleave. On top of the stairs, the ancient rune giant will greet your group, so the tank needs to quickly grab him and face him while positioning in front of the wall to avoid being knocked back from stomp. When rune giant uses rune detonation on a random raid target, other members need to quickly move away from the target to avoid damage, since the target cannot move due to immobilized effect. Once killed, the door opens where you will see Thorim, but please be aware of the trap located in the middle, so all members need to hug the wall to run towards Thorim. Once you reach Thorim, phase 2 starts. Before the attack group reaches Thorim, your raid may want to communicate with the defense group in case they just received a new set of mobs, which will be inefficient with DPS spread between the boss and the mobs. When the boss jumps into the arena, the main tank needs to quickly grab him and position at 12 o'clock, while other members need to position themselves at pre-assigned location and spread out 8 yards from others. The off tanks need to stack on top of the main tank, and melees need to maintain 8 yards from the tank and other melee group by positioning at a maximum melee range. The reason why the tank positioned at 12 o'clock is because there's no orb behind. In phase 2, Thorim uses the following skills. The first skill is Unbalancing Strike that is used on the tank, so when the main tank is hit by this, the off tank needs to quickly taunt the boss, and when the current tank receives Unbalancing Strike debuff, the main tank quickly taunts back, rinse and repeat. If you have a warrior, Demoralizing Shout helps a lot. Second skill is lightning charge that sends an electrical energy to Thorim from one of the orbs. When you see this electrical energy, anyone nearby needs to quickly move out since it shoots out cone of lightning spells in the area inflicting heavy damage. Every time the boss receives this stacking charge, he is buffed with melee damage, attack speed and nature damage dealt, so the tank needs to be ready to use any cooldown after 7 stacks and healers to use cooldowns from 8 stacks and above to keep the tank alive. Lastly, the boss's chain lightning does heavy damage to anyone within 8 yards with more damage to the next target, so it is crucial that all members to spread out with the exception of melees and tanks, like Calphazard at Naxxramas. Phase 2 is where you need to bloodlust, drink pots and burn cooldowns to nuke the boss down, since the encounter's difficulty goes up as the boss stacks lightning charge. For hard mode, the attack group needs to reach Thorim before 3 minutes and phase 2 starts. The boss uses the same skill as normal mode, but he has more health and more damage, and his wife Sif joins the fight. Sif cannot be targeted but deals a lot of damage to the raid, so the healers need to take extra attention to everyone's health and damage dealers to deal more damage to Thorim than normal mode. Sif uses Frostbolt Volley to nearby enemies and reduces their movement speed. Frost Nova inflicts heavy damage while immobilizing them, so Mass Dispel or Magic Dispel is critical. Finally, she uses Blizzard like Shade of Iron in Karazhan at outer area, so all casters and healers need to position tightly while maintaining 8 yards with one another. Sif's skills are frost damage, so frost resistance aura helps, or equip one frost resistance item depending on your raid group's condition. If your raid group is struggling with Thorim's encounter, then I would advise you to assign one priest to mind control Warbringer that appears during the first phase in the arena, since he gives out an aura that is quite similar to Bloodlust to help increase the overall DPS of the raid group. Thorim's encounter is very fun but also requires a lot of DPS and HPS. Furthermore, the encounter starts to fall apart when raid member dies from careless mistakes, which puts pressure on other raid members, so please focus and take him down.